Shibai Otsutsuki, the Ōtsutsuki who became a god by eating multiple chakra fruits. A god who uses divine powers known as Shinjutsu. But he isn't around anymore. He has ascended to a new dimensional plane. So does this mean that his introduction was useless? Does this mean that there is no point in talking about him? No, even though Shibai is not in this dimension, he is still the goal that all Ōtsutsuki's strive for, meaning that Boruto, Code, and Kawaki will all compete to become the next Ōtsutsuki God. So let's first talk about Code and his possibility of becoming an Ōtsutsuki God. The concept of an Ōtsutsuki God was first mentioned by Ishiki, who told Code to go from planet to planet and consume chakra fruits until he became a god. This gives us a hint that Code might actually either attempt to do so or actually achieve it. He might actually become a god. Remember, Code has taken multiple L's, chapter after chapter, so it means that when the time comes that he actually takes a W, it will be a massive one. So in what ways would Code get his hands on his first chakra fruit? I don't see any way in which Code would get his chakra fruit from this planet, as there are too many high-level opponents that Code will have to go through. This means that he would have to go to a different planet and plant a chakra fruit and eat it. There are two ways I can see this happening. Either Code stumbles on a place on Earth that connects to a different planet, just like Earth was connected to the moon in the Tonori movie, or Code has to team up with another Ōtsutsuki. I believe that Code teaming up with another Ōtsutsuki would be the most likely scenario due to the fact that Tonori is no longer here. The fact is, Tonori was acting as a shield that protected Earth from outside threats. This is why we see Earth's veil shatter after he is sealed by Urashiki. This is not the only reason, as you have to remember that a bunch of Ōtsutsuki's would want to come to this planet to plant a chakra fruit due to the information it contains. So many great shinobis have died on this planet: Madara, Hashirama, Ishiki, and many other strong opponents. And like Ishiki told Code, there is a record of all the people who ever lived on this planet. This means that the chakra fruit for this planet will be a lot stronger than any other chakra fruit. This will cause a lot of Ōtsutsuki's to want to come to this planet in search of its fruits, and I believe that Code has a possibility of working with them. Next, let's talk about Boruto and his possibility of becoming a god Ōtsutsuki. Someone on Twitter pointed something out that is quite interesting about Boruto's connection to the Ōtsutsuki God. Shinjutsu has been explained by Amado to be divine or pure true art, and the Jogan is known as the pure eye, so it's logical to say that the Jogan might actually be the highest ranking dojutsu. This does make perfect sense, as the god that Ishiki shows has eyes that appear to be the Jogan. This means that Boruto has already achieved a part of becoming an Ōtsutsuki God. So right now, I am currently reading Samurai 8, a manga that Kijimoto wrote before coming back to write the Boruto manga. In that manga, we see the same concept of ascending to a different plane of existence, and the main character at the end of the story does actually reach that state. He becomes a sort of god as he ascends to a different plane of existence. So if Kijimoto, the same guy who wrote Samurai 8 and is now writing Boruto, I see a possibility of Boruto actually becoming an Ōtsutsuki God just like the main character in Samurai 8. This would make a lot of sense, but the only thing I believe is that he wouldn't become an Ōtsutsuki God by ordinary ways, which means he wouldn't become an Ōtsutsuki God by eating multiple chakra fruits. He would have to do so in a different way. This is already being foreshadowed to us, and Kidomaki has already figured it out, so go check out his video after this one. If you pay close attention to Boruto's horns, you would see that it doesn't have any similarities to Momoshiki's, and it doesn't even look like Fused Momoshiki's either. They look quite different. Boruto's horns and Fused Momoshiki's horns don't really look alike. This is kind of weird, but what if I tell you that just like Ida and Damien, Boruto got some DNA from the Ōtsutsuki God? This god could be Shibai or maybe a different god altogether, but it would explain why Boruto got the Jogan. This also makes a lot of sense and also explains why Tonori was sealed for 10,000 years, because he stole the body of maybe Shibai or another Ōtsutsuki God and gave Boruto some of that DNA, just like Kawamoto gave Ida and Damon the DNA of Shibai Otsutsuki. This is what led to Boruto awakening the Dragon, and why Boruto's horns actually look a lot more like the Ōtsutsuki Gods. It looks similar to both Shibai Otsutsuki's horns, and it also looks similar to the Ōtsutsuki God that Ishiki shows us. This would mean that Boruto is already part God, not only because of the Dragon, but also because of the DNA that he possesses. This might also allow him to become an Ōtsutsuki God in a different way than most regular Ōtsutsuki's. Now, the last person I think has the potential of becoming the next Ōtsutsuki God is Kawaki. And if you're watching so far, clearly you're enjoying the video, so make sure you like and subscribe. The reason why I think Kawaki has a high chance of becoming an Ōtsutsuki God is because of his personality. Kawaki will do anything for power and to accomplish his goals, and I mean everything. He literally killed Boruto to protect Naruto from dying. Although this is sad and most people see it as weird, it does make a lot of sense. Kawaki never experienced love, and when he gets to experience love for the first time, he will do anything to make sure nothing happens to the source of his love and joy. And to protect Naruto, Kawaki has to get stronger, and this may mean having to go to different planets in search of chakra fruits. I could definitely see Kawaki, just like Sasuke did in the past, go to a psychotic state where he is just looking for power and nothing more. This may mean that he has a few arcs where he goes from planet to planet collecting chakra fruits and doing anything to gain power, even at the expense of other people and their livelihood. This is exactly what the story is leading up to, as Kawaki will become the Naruto that went wrong, and Boruto will become the Sasuke that went right. If Kawaki does end up beating Boruto in the fight that we see in the time skip, the only way I could see that happening is if Kawaki did end up going to a different planet to collect some chakra fruits. This is because Kawaki hates being weak, and if he feels like he's weak and can't protect his loved one, he will do anything necessary to make sure that changes. This is where we might see something amazing, where we have three different people, which are called Boruto and Kawaki, all striving to become an Ōtsutsuki God. Kawaki is most likely not going to be on Boruto's side in the time skip, and Boruto is definitely not going to be on Kawaki's side, so we might see a race of three different people striving to become a god to protect what is dear to them. This is where I believe we could get the reintroduction of people like Tonori, who might help Boruto, and Kashin Koji, who might help Kawaki. But what I know will happen first is Boruto's dark prophecy coming to pass. And if you want to be the first one to know how everything happens, watch this video right here.